We are back for the midweek DFS update, and we are building directly off yesterday's core while tightening exposure where the projections and opponent rank still line up with the news cycle quarterback first, and there is no change at the top. We are keeping Sam Darnold at 16,200 with a dash rank of 100 and an 18-point projection against New England, who have a tough defense overall. The Y stays the same, and the confidence is growing. He just put up 30 after back-to-back nines, and the narrative tailwinds remain strong with a fresh run of essentially sports features on his Super Bowl LX turnaround and the Vikings' rejection that he used as fuel. That kind of organizational trust plus the game plan signal makes us want him stacked. We are also keeping Drake May at 16,500 with a dash rank of 99 and a 21-point projection against Seattle, who have a tough defense overall. His last three of 16, 17, and 19 sit right on his 22-point season average, which is exactly the kind of steady volume profile we want as a bringback or single stack. Multiple reports note, New England is looking to bolster his receiving core, which supports the volume bet even in a tough matchup, so he stays firmly in the pool running back, and we are staying disciplined. We trimmed Trevayon Henderson yesterday, and we are keeping that stance at 5,700 with a dash rank of 79 and a 12-point projection against Seattle, who have a tough defense overall. The recent 1, 3, and 5 highlight the floor risk, and without a clear touch count spike, we prefer to allocate salary to our Seattle passing stacks. If you are building around May and want leverage, Henderson still brings explosive traits and passing game chops as highlighted in the rookie contract and first-year production pieces, but we are capping exposure until we see a usage bump wide receiver, and the core remains unchanged. Jackson Smith-Njigba is still our priority at 11,100 with a dash rank of 100 and a 27-point projection against New England, who have a tough defense overall. He is averaging 23 fantasy points per game, with recent games of 34, 11, and 14. And we keep leaning in, because the news drumbeat around him, believing he has earned a chord-setting deal after a dominant Super Bowl winning campaign reinforces true alpha usage. That fits perfectly with our Darnold stacks in a compressed matchup. We are adding Cooper Kupp as a secondary stacking piece at 7,800 with a dash rank of 91 and a 9-point projection against New England, who have a tough defense overall. The recent 14, 11, and 5 show a modest but rising role, and the Seahawks' homecoming features, plus his post-Super Bowl focus point to continued involvement. The salary makes him a clean way to double-stack Darnold when you cannot pay up twice, and he gives you veteran red zone access without breaking the build. We are keeping Rashid Shaheed at 6,300 with a dash rank of 92 and a 10-point projection as our volatile value pivot in Seattle stacks against New England, who have a tough defense overall. The recent 6, 9, and 1 capture the boom-bust profile we want at this price, and the reporting that he is one of the most dynamic return specialists and was highlighted as an unsung hero with a season record play gives us confidence the touches can pop at any time. Tight end, and this is our first change from yesterday. We pivoted off Hunter Henry to chase cheaper Seattle correlation, but we are bringing Henry back into the pool at 2,500 with a dash rank of 93 and a 10-point projection against Seattle, who have a tough defense overall. The Y is correlation and red zone path in May stacks. The Sportsline projection model calling him out among top TE props this week aligns with our touchdown hunting in a tight total, and his recent 3, 2, and 15 remind us he carries a spike week when the targets condense. We will still favor cheaper Seattle builds in Darnold stacks, but Henry is back as our preferred Patriots skill piece if you are not using a wideout. If you need a true punt to open salary for premium Seattle stacks, Austin Hooper at 3,000 and a 3-point projection is strictly a large field dart against Seattle, who have a tough defense overall. You are playing for a handful of routes and a red zone. Look at a fraction of the price. Nothing more. Kicker stays unchanged. Jason Myers at 8,100 with a dash rank of 60 and an 11-point projection faces New England, who have a tough defense overall. His last 3 of 7, 11, and 8 fit our thesis that drives can stall here, and the Super Bowl debate about him versus Kenneth Walker for MVP, plus the note that he drilled a record 5 field goals underscore a slate-breaking ceiling when touchdowns are scarce. On the other side, Andy Borregales at 7,500 with a dash rank of 57 and a 9-point projection remains our bring-back in May lineups against Seattle, who have a tough defense overall. Features on his 126-point rookie season at an 86.7 success rate reinforce trust from the staff, which is exactly what we want. When we are allocating salary to a kicker in a grindy game, defense remains the same. Patriots defense at 6,000 with a dash rank of 58 projects for 6 points and their opponent rank of 14 points to a matchup where the other side have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. Recent outputs of 12, 7, and 5 are moving in the right direction, and they remain our leverage anchor in lineups that fade aggressive Seattle stacks. For the value flex, we are keeping the Seahawks team at 4,400 with a dash rank of 53 and a 5-point projection. This is a simple correlation and salary release dart that lets you jam Darnold plus JSN while still capturing Seahawks scoring in stars and scrubs builds. What changed from yesterday? We are reintroducing Hunter Henry for May stacks based on the Sportsline prop model signal and his maintained red zone role, while keeping the cheaper Seattle correlation for Darnold builds. We are adding Cooper Kupp as a secondary stacking option to double with JSN when you want more Seahawks exposure at a friendlier price. We are holding our fade on Tre'Veyon Henderson until the touch count trends upward against a tough defense overall. Everything else stays intact because the projections, opponent rank context, and the latest reporting on Darnold's resurgence, JSN's record-setting contract push, Myers' Super Bowl field goal record, and Shaheed's unsung hero status all continue to support our construction core summary. Darnold stacked with JSN, add Kupp or Shaheed when salary and contest size dictate, and pair with Myers. Bring back with my single stacks that include Henry or Borregales. Patriots defense is your primary leverage when you fade Seattle stacks, and the Seahawks value flex remains the clean salary unlock for stars and scrubs builds. We are pressing these angles mid-week because the data and the news still point to the same ceiling paths in a tough, condensed matchup,